What's up, Giants fans? Hit Squad back at it with another video. The New York Giants have a very important game this Sunday night against the division rival in the Washington Commanders. This is going to be a primetime game in FedEx Field. The season is on the line. If the Giants want any hopes of making it to the playoffs, you must win this game against the Washington Commanders. I've personally have had this game penciled in since we tied with Washington just 2 weeks ago because the New York Giants should have won that game against Washington. We had multiple opportunities to put that game away. You could look at the lack of execution. You could look at the penalties. You could look at Graham Gano missing the field goal in overtime, even though it shouldn't have gotten to overtime. And ultimately, it is what it is. Both teams right now are 7-5-1, trying to win this game so that they have a good chance of making it to the playoffs. If the Giants win this game, their playoff chances go up to 85%. Whereas if they lose, you can almost guarantee that they're not going to make it to the playoffs. They're not. And the Giants are playing meaningful games in December. And when was the last time that we could say that? Be real. When was the last time that we could say that the Giants are playing meaningful games in December? 2016? 6 years ago? The Giants have a shot. They have a shot to make it to the playoffs, but they have to handle their own business. And this is a game that you have to win. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to quickly say we are going to be having Protest Sports Network on the channel again on another episode of the Giant Breakdown. Now, that'll be on the channel this week before the game, so definitely stay tuned for that. And also, if you're new to the channel, join the Hit Squad. Join the Hit Squad. I'm trying to hit 600 subscribers, so help a brother out. Share this video, leave a like and your thoughts below. And as always, you can find our Twitter link in the description box below. Now, looking at this game, I asked myself a couple questions. And I pose this question to you guys. Are we going to get the Washington Commander Slayer Daniel Jones? Or are we going to get the primetime Daniel Jones who has not won a game in primetime? That's a serious question to ask. Now, historically, we know that Daniel Jones dominates against the Washington Commanders. We know that he owns FedEx Field. He has a part ownership to that stadium. You look at Daniel Jones in all three career games at at FedEx Field against Washington. Daniel Jones is 73 of 108 passing. He has a 67 completion percentage, 813 passing yards, 7 passing touchdowns, 111 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. Just 2 weeks ago, he had 77 yards on the ground against Washington in MetLife. Now, Daniel Jones, can you put this team on your back and prove that you're worthy for coming back for another year? Because I believe that you are. You have a lot of fans that believe that you are. But can you prove to yourself and prove to this organization that you're worthy to come back for another season? This is a must-win game. Legends are made in December. This is a game. If you can win this game, I do believe that the conversation of Daniel Jones changes a little bit, or at least the tone of Daniel Jones changes a little bit. Now, the Giants have to find a way to win. They absolutely have to find a way to win. And if you're asking me, I think this is a game where Daniel Jones has to prove himself. Play for your contract. Play for the heart of the New York Giants. Play for the respect of your city. Find a way to win. The season is on the line. You cannot have a game like you had against Philly. You cannot have a game like you had against Washington as a team if you want any hopes of beating this Washington Commanders team. Saquon Barkley, he's been taken off of the injury report. We know that in recent weeks he hasn't looked like himself. He's been dealing with injuries. But can he have a bounce back game? I do believe so. I do believe that we'll see a better Saquon Barkley than what we saw against Philly and than what we saw against Washington just 2 weeks ago in MetLife. I do believe that. And Saquon Barkley, we need him. Despite how you may feel about Saquon Barkley, I'm a big Saquon Barkley supporter. We need Saquon Barkley to have a good game against Washington. Whether that's through the ground, whether that's through the air, both. The New York Giants have to get Saquon Barkley involved. We need him in this game. We need him down the stretch. We need him to have a big game. Darius Slayton, can you redeem yourself? Can you redeem yourself? The last time that we played the Commanders in prime time, which was week 2 of last year, you had a game, you had an easy touchdown that you dropped that if you catch that, the New York Giants win that game. Wide open. No player around you for 20 yards. You had a dominant game against Washington just 2 weeks ago, but you had a crucial drop that sets the New York Giants in excellent field position. But instead, it killed the drive. Can you redeem yourself in this game? Can you prove yourself in this game? Because we need you to step up, and you have been stepping up. Isaiah Hodgins, he has 2 touchdowns in back-to-back games. Should have had a touchdown against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, but he's emerging. I think he is emerging. He's proven me wrong. I said he was just going to be a guy, and he's really, honestly, emerging as a nice number 2, maybe even a nice, right now at least, playing as a number 1 for us, considering that we don't have a lot of talent at the wide receiver position. But we see that their chemistry is growing between DJ and Isaiah Hodgins, just like it's growing between Darius Slayton and Daniel Jones. But we need these two to have a good game as well, because if the Washington Commanders shut down Saquon Barkley and we can't get it done through the air, the Giants aren't going to win this game. They're not. So I ask, can this offense play better against Washington than what it did in recent weeks? I thought the offensive line had a fair game against Washington 2 weeks ago. They had a poor game against Philly, who has, in my opinion, the best defense in the whole league. But still, giving up 7 sacks, knowing that Chase Young is coming back already to a stacked defensive line. We can't have a game like we had against Philly where we gave up 7 sacks. We can't. You can't have those kind of games. I also look at Azeez and Kayvon. Those two, they've been thriving. Let's be honest here. Azeez has 4 sacks on the season despite missing most of the season. Kayvon had a sack against Washington 2 weeks ago. Both of these guys have been difference makers. Azeez Ojulari has been a huge difference maker to this defense. He causes havoc. He gets to the QB. He helps Kayvon Thibodeaux across from him play better, getting one-on-ones. I mean, Azeez Ojulari has been a difference maker. And I do believe that we'll see a very good game by these two. Dexter Lawrence, maybe Leonard Williams if he plays. Our interior, it needs to be better. Dexter Lawrence was having a career year. In the last 3 weeks has been a little bit quiet, but we need him to step up a little bit more, and we need this defense to have a breakout game. Our secondary is very banged up right now. We're not going to have a Dory Jackson this game. Fabian Moreau, Nick McLeod, Cordell Flott. I mean, we need these guys to step up. Julian Love, you can't have a missed interception. You can't have a play like you had last week against Philly where you're going for the interception instead of going to knock the ball down. Can't have that. Can't have it. So the New York Giants have to be on their P's and Q's. And Washington, they're coming off of a bye week after just playing us, and they're licking their chops. They're getting Chase Young back. They're healthier than the New York Giants are. They're playing at home. Commanders fans are feeling very good about themselves right now, and I understand. But at the same time, I look at this Giants team and I say, they have a shot. They have a shot of winning this game. But they need to be on their P's and Q's. We need to see this offensive line play better, especially our interior, which has been very suspect all season. We need to see this running game get going. We need to see Saquon Barkley be the Saquon Barkley that he was in the first half of the season and not the second half season Saquon Barkley. We need to see Darius Slayton redeem himself because in the last 3 games against Washington, I mean, he's had crucial drops. He's had what you can consider game losing drops. And in my honest opinion, I mean, I'm really looking at him in this game because he needs to redeem himself. He has to. And Daniel Jones, you got to win a primetime game, man. This is, again, your season is on the line. Your playoff hopes are on the line. You have to win this Sunday. Find a way to win. Kafka, we got to see this playbook expanded. I know, we're working with what we have right now, but at the same time, man, our offense is looking almost predictable at times, and it's just not getting it done. It's not. These play action passes were successful the first half of the season, and teams are catching on to this offense, and we can't have that. We can't have that. I need this playbook expanded. I do feel that we'll see a more expanded playbook against Washington. I was talking about it with a Commanders fan when we were, trying to do, the breakdown for the game, and he's telling me, I maybe Washington, going into this game, they might start Carson Wentz, they may not, and to me, I'm thinking, hopefully we see a better game plan, and whether that's Taylor Heineke on the field, whether that's Carson Wentz, we need to see a better game plan, especially defensively, because last week, I mean, it just wasn't a good game for us defensively. I mean, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Jahad Dotson, Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, they got studs over there. They do. And when I look at this defense for the New York Giants, seeing how banged up they are, if they're not on their P's and Q's, it could be an ugly game. It could be a very ugly game. But again, December is when legends are made. They are. And I do believe that this is a game that the Giants can win. I really do. But we need some things. We need some players to step up. We need we need to be on our P's and Q's. It's not going to be an easy game. It's not. I'm looking at this game honestly as a 24-20 game. I'm going to just be honest with you. I really do believe that this is going to be a 24-20 type of game. It's going to be close, but the New York Giants have to come out with the win. They have to come out with the win because if they don't, you could pretty much seal that they're not making it to the playoffs. Now, again, it's going to be a very good game. It's going to be a very, very good game. There's going to be some players that I'm looking at, and yeah, it's going to be a really good one. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts below. How are you guys feeling about this game? What players do you believe need to step up for the New York Giants to win? What are some players that you're looking at the Washington Commanders? Me personally, I'm looking at McLaurin. I'm looking at Deron Payne. I'm even looking at, Brian Robinson, who had a solid game against his run defense. So, it's going to be a very good one. I think the New York Giants can win, and we'll see. And again, stick around for that video with ProTech Sports Network that will be dropping this week on the Giant breakdown, and we're gonna break this game down even more. So definitely stick around for that. Let us know your thoughts below. Hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to share this video. We'll see you guys on the next video.